up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
Oh, we got a great show going on. Let me tell you, later on in the show, we've got the creator of Love Blows, Snoop and Martha's Dinner Party, and so many NTV shows, including Jersey Shore. That's right, the founder of 495 Productions. Later on, we have the millionaire matchmaker herself. Get this, Patty Stranger, the CEO of Millionaire Club International. And let's go ahead and let's get started with our first hero of the day. And thank you, too, for the feedback that we've gotten when we had Sam Adams, the founder, brewery company, on our show. And also recently, too, Oculus, the co-founder on our show, who sells his business to what? Facebook for $1 gazillion? Well, I'm a little exaggerating, a couple $1 billion, but still quite a bit. So let's get right started with our first hero of the day. Okay, all right, this is amazing. I've got to tell you, their commercial used to say, people sometimes do stupid things like paying too much for phone service. And this company came to market 2001 as one of the first broadband telephone companies, only charging $24.99 for phone service, which was absolutely unheard of. We have the CEO of Vonage, Alan Masarek. Now, Alan, I have to ask you, first of all,
Sure.
do you just, I mean, like the song that you hear, I mean, do you just, I mean, that must just be embedded when you go to bed at night. You probably dream of that song.
The woohoo, woohoo, woohoo song is in my head and can never be pulled out. Absolutely. It's been run, how many billions of times. But what it's done for us is everyone knows it. The Vonage brand is almost iconic. Everyone knows the brand. And thanks to that song and all these quirky commercials that we did over the course of the last 15 years have made a big, big difference in building the awareness of the brand.
You spent quite a bit on actually really building this brand to what it is. I mean, the company now is $252 million publicly held company. How much did you spend on the branding part of it?
Well, the 252, first of all, was just the revenue this past quarter. So we're on, call it, $1 billion run rate in terms of revenues. And what we do, where we invented that residential phone service, bring it voice over the internet protocol. So the residential VoIP, we pretty much created that category around 15 years ago. Now, over the last several years, we've moved aggressively adding business cloud communications, augmenting what we do on the residential side. So where we still have 1.6 million residences in America on our residential VoIP service, we have about 100,000 businesses on our business cloud communications solution, which is not just telephony, but goes across sort of all the elements of communications, whether it's voice, telephony, or video, or even messaging.
What was the spark to then go into the business side? At what point did that come to, and how did that then get launched?
Well, the business side is, the size of that market is vast, and there's this major trend going on where telephony systems, phone systems, used to be based on a single piece of hardware sitting in a customer's premise. And there is now a whole new category referred to as unified communications as a service. And what's happening is the former on-premise solution is now moving to the cloud. So communications now is moving to the cloud like so many other categories have moved before. And you still have the fact that the communication pathway is still going on VoIP, voice over IP, or increasingly video over IP, or even messaging over IP. When it's all on IP, again, which is the Internet protocol, what that does is you unify it, because where in the past you used to send a text message, or that, obviously the text message could not cross over to a voice call. And even within voice calls, if I'm on my landline and I wanted to switch to my cell phone, think how often we've been on the phone with a customer or a family member or what have you and say, I got to hang up here. let me pick up my cell phone and call you back. And the reason you have to do that, stop and start over, is because in the past they were separate. Think of them as separate highways in a sense. You had the proprietary landline phone network and you had the proprietary cell phone network. Now that things are normalized, the pathway is normalized by the Internet. It's just an application that goes across the Internet, whether it's voice, video, or text. You now have this unification, this ubiquity, and they call it unified communications. So it doesn't matter whether I'm on my landline or on my cell phone or even on a soft phone, is what they call it, a soft phone client talking to you through my computer. All these devices now are just, really, you think of them, they're just speakers and microphones that can get on the Internet. So that's this whole phenomenon of unified communications. That market is a $25 billion market, growing well into the 20% range, and the old on-premise system is actually declining year over year.
That's amazing. Now, why would then someone use anything else but your company? I mean, it just doesn't make sense, especially the cost savings and the everything else that goes into it.
And that's exactly right. The benefit of moving to the cloud versus that old piece of software that sat on a proprietary piece of hardware that sat in the closet in the office, the cloud is infinitely scalable. So, and you no longer have to buy that big clunky piece of hardware. So you get rid of that capital expenditure, and now it's all operating cost, and it's infinitely scalable. So it is far better, and that's why you see this growth rate well into the 20s, and you see the on-premise solutions declining 5 or 10% a year.
Wow. Well, you're listening to Eliances Heroes. Be a hero. Go to where entrepreneurs align with me, David Kogan. Be part of the community. Eliances.com. That's ELIANCES.com. And we have the CEO of Vonage with more than 1,800 employees globally. We have the CEO, Alan Masarek, who could be reached at Vonage.com. That's VONAGE.com. Now, you're also you've been a serial entrepreneur. I mean, you grew a few companies. Quick Office, which was the world's most widely embedded mobile productivity software, top 10 grossing app in the Google Play Store, engaging more than 26 million registered users at the time of, well, what small company ended up purchasing that company?
So we sold Quick Office. So I created, with a co-founder, we created Quick Office back in 2002. And that's the third company that I've started from pure startup to an eventual exit. And we took one public, and more recently with Quick Office, we sold it to Google. And it's interesting. I joined Vonage from Google 3 years ago to lead this transformation from our roots in consumer to add now this business cloud communications piece. And the business piece now is the larger of the two segments. So we built our brand, this iconic brand in the consumer side, serving all those millions of residences, but now we are repositioning that brand rapidly into being the preeminent business cloud brand going forward. And we've made just a great deal of progress now that, it's now the majority segment in the total company. So, more than $500 million in revenue out of a company that's doing roughly $1 billion in revenue.
Fantastic.
My own background is I have been a serial entrepreneur for, 25 years. And, I was recruited out of Google to lead this transformation. What was exciting for me, and the Google opportunity, having, built my business up and then sold it there, what intrigued me here was, the opportunity to reposition this almost iconic consumer brand to go after a market segment that just had a great opportunity in it, this whole business cloud communication space. And so when I look at opportunities as an entrepreneur and now as a public company CEO, I always look and say, is that market worth winning? Clearly, this is large enough, absolutely, and it's fast growing. The same token is, do you have the assets in place that you believe you can win with? And the answer here was absolutely as well, a lot of which started with the brand, the cash flows that come from the residential side, which are very, very high, and the fact that we have this enormous network that was built on the residential side. We still terminate 15 billion minutes of calls a year. So now, in 3.5 years, we've built now about a $500 million business from a revenue point of view in the business segment, which among all the pure plays in our industry, we're the largest. So in 3.5 years, we're the largest out there. And so, our best days are in front of us in a big way. But I'm proud of where we are. Lots more work to do, but making really good progress.
Alan, this is incredible, too. You're a hero. You've built and grown several companies. You find new ways to serve customers and inspire your workforce. That's right, Alan Masarek. Vonage CEO. You could reach him at vonage.com. David Kogan with Eliances.